logs on your Kubernetes cluster or in general on item platform in our situation, which is based on Kubernetes. So if you're not a part of the item community, still it's gonna be applicable for you. So we have broker 0 here and another, the Zookeeper pod here in the crash loop backoff. We want to figure out what's going on with them. So let's see, kubectl would give us, oh come on, kubectl would give us the output of every possible command on the top level, of course, and it's gonna be logs. All right, so we're gonna print out our pods over here, and we see that they are in the OpsBridge1 namespace. So let's do just that, and you'll see it will pop up an error, but it's a helpful error which kind of saves you some time on research, right? So we're gonna do kubectl logs, and then we're gonna say, well, broker 0 minus namespace OpsBridge1. Go for it. And now it says, well, you know what, I cannot pull my logs. It's just not there, but if you would specify one of those containers, well, then I'll be able to help you, right? So we bring up our previous command, right? And we need to specify which container is inside the pod. So it's going to be -c. And then, of course, we want that guy because it's just Kubernetes Vault Renew. It's a component of Kubernetes that attached to pods sometimes. And we don't care what's going on inside it, at least at the moment. So we're going to do just that. And there we have it. There's our log. As you see, it's not very pleasant, but of course you can add some comments which would allow you to page up, page down in it and everything. But we care about the latest message, and it's unable to connect to Zookeeper. And if you remember, the Zookeeper was this guy over here. So it's pending for the Zookeeper. Now we could use the same method to examine the logs of the Zookeeper, but you know what? I have the time, right? And I'm not in a hurry, and also I want to examine the logs in a little bit more informational manner, let's say. Although, of course, command line beats everything in terms of speed, but you know, still you would like to have another option, and we have another option. So we will go to the management of our suite of our Kubernetes, and this is, I think, maybe in terms of UI a little bit unique to the OpsBridge and everything. We'll figure it out in a second, but it has a really nice UI that allows you to browse the logs in your browser. Actually, it gives you much more than that. You can also execute shell commands without the benefits of normal PuTTY connection or PuTTY. Right, but still it's very powerful, especially if you want, for example, to manage whatever you have remotely without having the access to the command line of the actual machine, of the actual master node. So you go to resources over here and it opens the Kubernetes management console. So I guess it is Kubernetes related and not specifically designed for our own software. So here we go to core, we go to OpsBridge1. This is the namespace of all of the products, and this was the namespace of the pods that were failing. And we see, okay, so there are some pods, and you see there are deployments over here, but we need to scroll down a little bit further, 2 pods, and find our pod in question over here. All right, so we have 3 pods. Now we don't care about this one at the moment, and the reason for this is, well, it takes time to load. We don't know exactly what's going on, but we know those 2 are independent. So we already examined the log on broker 0. So let's see the logs of this one, and it's simple as that. Just click on the log button, it opens a pop-up, and then you can, of course, choose which container inside the pod you would like to examine. And yeah, it's pretty simple. For this one, there is only 1 container, and we see, well, an unexpected exception, exiting abnormally, end of file exception. So I'm not really sure what's causing it at the moment, but the issue at hand is how to examine the logs, and there we have it. The logs are examined, and those are 2 ways of doing it. Now, if we have multiple containers, let me just show you real quick. So this one had at least 3 containers. One was install, I think, and then there are 2 running containers, right? So we can just go and switch between the logs, and also they have an auto refresh option and text and everything else. And I think you can download the logs if you want to ship them out to R&D, and that's a good option to make it faster. Because, well, while you can export the log into a file over here and then use some kind of a trickery to get the files from Linux to Windows, maybe, just maybe, this might be a little bit faster, especially if your product is exposed to normal networks and you cannot access the system from, well, the, uh, the machine itself from wherever you are. So this is a very, very interesting and easy and convenient way for us to go and do about this, right? Fantastic. So I'll see you in the next one.